Okay, first item on the agenda was to approve minutes, and there's four of us.
Move that we approve the minutes.
Okay, well, let me say what they're for. It's April 14th and April 28th, 2023 minutes. Oh, first I have to call us to order, so I'm sorry. Calling to order, and we're a little bit late, so it's about 10:05 a.m. on Friday. So we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, goody. All right, and then the only other thing I did get from Sally, or actually I got it from Ron, and I made copies. So this is, just wanted to share this with you. This is the Conservation Commission.
All right.
And so anyway, yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's very well done. I like it.
Here's some Concom.
That's from the Concom.
That's very nice.
Right, so
Yeah.
now what I have done since I sent out the update to you guys, is I took out all this formatting stuff. You know, I reformatted, but I had changed all the verbiage in here based on our last conversations. So I'm gonna run real quick and make you some copies so we can go through the verbiage. Because we changed basically what we discussed in the last meeting.
Yeah. Did you take this picture?
I didn't.
Did you take this one?
Which one? I don't know. No, I think that's a stock one that I got.
This looks very nice also.
So you've got the black and white version, but
Yours looks very nice too.
better represents what will end up, you know, with a white background. So,
Why, oh, you're just doing this?
yeah, this
versus
is,
Looking at you can't go on.
I couldn't get it through.
Yeah.
Couldn't get
Can
it.
I ask you who else, is there anybody else on?
Can you share your screen?
Of course.
No, because they would be.
Oh,
Let me just
See
make
it.
sure.
Oh, you're not on Zoom though?
No, I'm not. All right.
Nope, it's just us.
Oh, now I can.
So,
Like
I know.
it stopped you, eh?
I
You
know.
must know me.
So anyway, starting like with the protecting our environment in your investment page, you know, like that's actually the cover.
Hold on a second.
That
Which one are
side?
we doing? Yours or?
Ours.
So, oh, can we, oh, okay. I have just a bunch of comments on this one too.
Well, yeah, we will.
Okay.
But I think the first order of business is deal with our own. So anyway, protecting our investment, our environment and your investment. So I changed it. I condensed this down to 5 simple lakefront stewardship practices. Okay, the verbiage under that hasn't changed. It just explains what a watershed is. So that's always been the same. But I was able to compress a couple of the points into, you know, because they were related. So in the center panel of this, what I did add at the top, and it actually, I have it in red, and I may leave it in red, and we'll go mostly to green, you know, white background, the black print, and then a couple of red spots that I think should be highlighted. We can talk about that, but please consult the Stockbridge Conservation Commission for guidance on required permitting. They welcome residents and provide the opportunity at the start of meetings for the public to ask questions and express concerns. So that's in response to, Sally's comments, and in terms of also, let's make it clear that they're approachable. We encourage people to actually, go to them for advice.
So we should write warning, don't be nervous.
Right, right. So I put that in red. And then none of the rest, what you can do, none of that really changed. Is curbing pollutants, preventing runoff, capture and cleanse. And then there is the link that explains the buffer. And then on the left, this hasn't changed with the exception of me inserting in red, before launching any watercraft from your property, please ensure it has been washed to avoid introduction of any invasive species.
I just have a quick thing in
Yep.
preventing runoff.
Yep.
I see that waterway by and then minimizing the
Yeah.
hard surface is
Right.
that'll be changed or?
Well, in terms of the formatting, yeah, a little bit, because I've got to still adjust
Yeah,
this.
it's
I just have to
minor.
tweak it.
Yeah, just,
But you're just talking about where it breaks and it
Yeah.
goes to, yeah.
yeah. I thought,
So that's it for this side, but we talked about, well, let's put an alert out there for people when they're launching their boats. And this applies to homeowners as well as everybody else. So on the flip side, again, it's condensed to 1 through 5. Yeah,
So
you
on
have a
the
comment?
first side,
Yep.
on the left, what's currently on the left, I don't think we should assume that new visitors understand that Stockbridge Bowl and Lake Mackinac are interchangeable, and maybe just a sentence saying, Stockbridge Bowl, also known as Lake Mackinac, or technically known as Lake Mackinac, just something that kind of makes the connection between Stockbridge Bowl and Lake Mackinac.
Well, they're not new visitors. This is more designed for, it's protecting our environment and your investment. So this is targeting people who own property on the lake.
Some of them may.
But we can do that because we've done it in other places. Yeah, we did
I
it.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree.
So anyway, I'll see if we can fit that in there. Then, so the next size, we inserted at the top again in red, no chemicals or fertilizer are allowed within a 200-foot buffer zone of the lake or other bodies of water, this has to change, or other resource areas, but I think no one will know what that means, or other bodies of water or streams. Do we think that's okay?
I think that's fine.
Okay.
The bodies of water and streams.
Yeah, because saying other resources,
That's
technically how it's referred to, but no one's going to know what
No.
that is without explaining it. We don't have space to explain
Is
it.
that true?
Yes,
They are allowed?
pardon
Or
me?
is it, I
They are.
mean, it was
Oh,
my
they are
understanding that-
not allowed. There's a word missing. Good catch.
No chemicals or fertilizers.
Oh, yeah, are allowed.
It was my understanding that,
Without special permitting, but within the 200-foot buffer zone, basically, this is from Sally.
all right, good.
But somewhere else, we talk about, at some point I had something in here about special permitting, but you run out of space. Simple step number 1, choose zero phosphorus fertilizer. And then if you must fertilize elsewhere, because we had a whole conversation about this, that there may be places where they're going to fertilize that would be legit.
Yeah.
Avoid fertilizers that contain phosphorus. Remember, it's phosphorus that accelerates algae growth in our lakes and rivers. Consider this: 1 pound of phosphorus and runoff can result in 500 pounds of algae growth. So that didn't change. Simple step number 2, inspect and maintain your septic system regularly. Failed systems, and I had to condense this, failed systems can result in direct contamination of well or surface water and can cause serious human health risks. To avoid failure, understand your system's maintenance requirements. Because we talked about that. You have to, lots of people won't know, but they need to educate themselves.
If you have a cesspool, get rid of it.
Well,
No, I'm just saying.
they won't pass Title V with a
Is there
cesspool.
room, where would they find this maintenance requirement? Is there like with the Tri-Town?
Yeah.
Is there
Well, possibly Tri-Town. Typically, it depends because it depends on the type of system you have and when it was put in. So for newer systems, many of those, you have to have a maintenance contract.
Right.
And so they may know, but for people who have,
I think you're.
a traditional
this is
system,
really
they can
meant for
ask
traditional,
Tri-Town.
Right? I mean, you're really aiming for the people, like I have a system that I have a maintenance contract because it's all electronic.
Right.
But you're not really geared towards them, to us so much because it's newer and whatever. You're talking about those that could possibly
Well,
fail.
I think it applies to everybody because
No, I understand that.
because even people with newer systems
But what I'm getting at,
may not comply,
yeah, but what I'm getting at
like the
is,
guy at,
what?
like our problem short-term rental.
Yeah, what I'm trying to
That
get
was a
to
new system.
is maybe just put on the email, the Tri-Town, like where they can go to check it or something. That's all. If that's possible. I see it's double spaced.
Well,
here.
what I will do is, because it can keep being
Just
formatted
gives them
down.
one added less step to take.
Yep. Can stick, I'm sure we can get that in there. Yeah, just a direct link to
Yeah.
the
just a
website.
direct- Yeah.
Simple step number 3, properly dispose of household hazardous waste. If you wouldn't drink it, don't dump it. Better yet, minimize the use of toxic products for your personal safety. All hazardous products need to be disposed of properly at designated dates and times. And then I went out and I found information. So I got locations and it rotates between 3 towns, Great Barrington, Stockbridge and Lee, and the dates and times. And to get that information, they tell you to email cet@cetonline.org or call CET at a 1-800 number. These collections occur 2 times throughout the summer and fall.
Good.
So we've got that so that they can literally go out and look it up or call and find out. Simple step number 4, minimize erosion. And this is where there was condensing of what before were different steps, but they were all related in terms of minimizing erosion. So really not much changed here. It just got condensed. Minimize hard surfaces through the use of gravel, stepping stones, or porous paving, and vegetate using native plants. Do not transfer problems by diverting runoff to your neighbor's property. You may need to work together to solve runoff and erosion problems. Direct downspouts onto your lawn or landscaping, not onto hard surface. Install a rain barrel to collect water from your rooftop to water your yard during dry periods.
I know 2 separate instances where that happened, yet it shocks me that you have to say that.
Oh, there's a lot of things that shock me of where you have to say, have you spoken to your neighbor?
Or better yet, have you put a pipe that goes to your neighbor's property from yours?
No, I know. There's been some really significant ones.
Which
Yeah.
one did you say surprised you?
People have, not a lot, a couple instances, people basically drain their runoff right to the edge of their neighbor's property, so it goes into their property.
Yeah, created a problem for the neighbor. Yeah.
Wow.
I've gotten a couple complaints.
And then,
We're a blip in time.
Yeah. You're right.
and then simple step number 5, protect or restore your shoreland buffer. And then I put in parentheses 35-foot vegetated buffer. If you have lawn to the water's edge within the buffer zone, plant native trees, shrubs, grasses, and wildflowers to attract songbirds and discourage geese. And I'm bolding discourage geese because I think that's a big,
It's a benefit, yeah.
Put a
yes.
dot after that.
Yep, this whole thing needs to be, you got to realize, it's been a little
Was it
hectic.
shoreland or shoreline? In the headline.
Shoreline.
It can be shoreline if you prefer
I don't know, I'm
shoreline.
just asking. I
Yeah.
just never heard that word shoreland.
Oh, I found it somewhere else.
Shakespeare?
You can create a natural waterfront landscape while eliminating expensive and time-consuming lawn care. And then at the bottom, I added in short, be a good steward. But the formatting of this has changed, and I can try getting on again, but so you can see more what it looks like now. But anyway, anything else that we need to deal with in this?
I think your tagline is great. Be a good steward. It totally works with our stewardship.
Well, that's what I figured.
great.
It's like a good boom, here's your ending.
Yeah.
But what I would like to know is like their fonts and their font sizes
Yeah.
okay? Because, yeah, if we can be
The
consistent.
spacing between them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I can find out from somebody on conservation, I'm sure, what the fonts are that they used, what their sizing, and so on. So I'm figuring they have finalized this. And so we will match their font sizes, spacing.
And,
And I'm not nuts about they've got the black text box
yeah.
line. I don't think that we need that.
Also remember that.
I don't want
three
them to-
panels- Three panels are not the same. The inner panel, when you print it, because the paper
I know.
has to be shorter.
Yep.
It's hard to make the panels look, the borders look right,
Right,
you know?
yeah. So the lines make that a lot
What's
more
your issue
complicated.
with the Concom one?
Well, if you see, each text box that they have here has an outline,
Yeah,
and I would not do an outline.
uh-huh.
And specifically for that reason, because I've done a whole bunch of flyers and things, for Council on Aging now, recently, and done trifolds for a flyer. So yeah, when you're folding them,
See like how this one you fold it? This one looks okay.
I'm folding my
This one
own.
looks kind of,
Yeah.
you know, off.
once you fold them, then,
Right.
yeah, you run into problems.
Good.
And we do actually have, in Town Hall, we do have a trifold machine, which I found out last time I did a flyer. We didn't find out until I'd already folded
We have a flag.
500 of them. But at any rate, we do have it available. So, well, that's kind of the plan. The other thing is, I'm thinking, get rid of this one picture here of the hazardous material thing. Mowing the lawn one isn't too bad, I don't think.
Maybe add a geese turd, you know?
You know what? What,
Pictures of geese on somebody's lawn.
you know what, that didn't bother me at all, actually. Why do you want to eliminate it?
Just allow for more space.
Yeah.
I also,
But once once I minimize this, they're using a smaller,
I'm a great believer, even, I think of, vision.
like it?
I personally do.
Okay,
I mean, in other words, this thing around it, it's like, that's what they're gonna remember. Look, all those bottles look like they're chemicals.
right. And they are.
No, I understand. I understand that.
And we all have them in our
But what
homes.
it does is it breaks it up. You have a picture of the guy doing it, you have a picture, I think it
Okay.
just
Yeah,
simplifies it. And
I agree
like
with
it.
you, Michael. I think that looks.
Okay.
It looks very nice.
It
when you
looks
did that.
nice. There's the guy that's fertilizing.
Yeah.
Right in front of the pond, yeah?
Yeah.
Right,
You have
okay,
Different pictures here. I don't need
okay.
to
And
go
if we
there
may
unless you
buy
want to.
back enough, like by reducing the font or changing the font, reducing the font size a little bit, we'll buy back something. So this should be pretty much done, but let me just see.
What font size is this? Because it's easy to read and I like it.
Well, that was why I was doing it
Yeah, and I think you
initially. But
should-
then it's like, we came up with a
like the
lot
more
of
modern
things to
font.
add.
Personally, I like your font better than the Concom Times Roman, but that's just me.
Oh, yeah, because what have I got? I've got Calibri for the text, and I've got Cambria maybe
I
for the
would-
headings.
I wouldn't worry too much. I think font size, the bigger the font size that you can feel comfortable, the better, the
Okay.
easier it is to read.
Well, that's what I was aiming for,
It's easy to read what you did here.
right,
And I think
although
any smaller than that,
theirs isn't bad,
hold on a second.
but I also like our font better. Because I think it's easier to read,
Feeling that
because it's,
size-wise, they're probably both 13s or something.
Yeah. I mean, the one.
no, I've got a 14,
Oh,
minus
14, okay.
14, it
Yeah.
looks like theirs might be 12, I'm not sure.
No, there's just.
13 then.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying.
But they're also in a different
Once you fix
font,
what's called
which
the
makes a
leading
difference.
between these lines, the headlines here, that'll get you a couple of more sentences.
Yeah, I've already
Yeah.
done that, so I want to see if I can get on and do a share screen so you can see what the latest.
I think,
Because I worked on it more yesterday.
we don't need to see the layout. I mean, if you want,
Okay.
I gotta go to my thing with my
I
camera.
know, yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna
All right.
actually go. Is there
Okay.
anything else? I don't have any reports.
Okay,
All right?
all right.
Okay.
Be a quick meeting then.
What?
This can be a quick meeting.
Yeah.
'Cause that's pretty much, I mean, the main thing was voting on the minutes. That was the only thing we had to vote on. And then just take a look at this.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. I think it looks really good. I
Okay.
think it really looks good. I wouldn't labor over it too much, that I think you really got it.
Well, we got to labor
Yeah, I
over
think
it
it looks
still in terms of formatting, but
No,
no.
but
I'll do it and I'll add the Tri-Town Health link.
Yeah.
And where are we planning on leaving these?
Well, we can leave them in all kinds of places. Number one, there's going to be a rack that's going to be, in Town Hall. That's one place. Obviously, we can put them at the boat ramp. We can put them at the beach. And we could distribute these to the homeowners associations.
That's what I was going to suggest. That's probably, the two biggest ones are Lake Drive and Beechwood.
Yeah.
And they're probably 50%, I don't know, you may know.
Yeah, these are the people that we
50%
want
all the
to,
people
not the,
that live
we don't want the
around
tourists. We
60%
want,
maybe.
No, but we also, those people are,
Homeowners.
when they're first coming here, if it's the second
Yeah.
homeowner and they're launching a boat, they're going to the boat ramp.
yeah,
So you want
they
to,
should be at the boat ramp for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
and
get it out
At
there.
the second homeowners meeting, you should have them.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Maybe the SBA or maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, what you should do when you have this, send Pat a link with this thing on that she should send to
Oh, yeah.
all the members,
Yeah, yep. And we'll see. I know like the Concom one, I have it actually on glossy paper that they printed.
Did you, by any chance, I'm just going to change
Somewhere.
the subject a second.
Yep.
Did you get in touch with Pat concerning the finances of the,
I haven't spoken with her. I
Uh-huh.
left her a voicemail message and updated her and said, okay, yes, that's the other thing. That was the other thing on our agenda is update on that. And so when I checked with Mike Canales, he said, well, I'm working on it. So I said, we have to get on it. This was like a week or two ago. And so since then, we do have the contract. They will be starting.
okay, what, the 28th or something?
They had told me the 22nd, but it's going to be based on all their others. So it's
Right.
either going to be late May, very early June
Right.
that they're going out there. But we are under contract at this point. So
So,
that's all good.
all right, great.
That and the only other thing that has come up that is new is we just discovered, I heard from Buffoni, he said, I'm not hearing from GCA about coming out for the testing. And so I talked to Mike Canales and apparently we didn't have the contract in place. So I said, well, we got to get this done. And so that now,
Okay.
I think is in place. But that hadn't actually happened. So that now has happened. And, hopefully Mike said, and there may be a little bit of negotiation that I have to talk to Mike Canales about. As I said, if they're only going to be able to come out once, then we're going to negotiate that contract down because part of that cost is them coming here. And every year that we've done this contract, I've negotiated it. So we've paid less. So we'll see what happens this time. That's the only thing.
Right.
Usually they come out the first time. If that isn't possible, the two alternatives are they still come in July, which is typical high season, and then they come like at the very tail end, like in November.
Has he done water temperature checks compared to the prior years? Lightly?
Well, he doesn't compare them to, they do them though. Every time they go out, they're doing water temperature.
I
Yeah,
was just concerned about the ice. I'm
The
concerned
warm-
about the temperature this year.
yeah.
Is there anything new about the amount of harvesting that we're going to be doing?
The amount of what?
The harvesting. Are we still harvesting within that
We're
10
using,
acres or are we,
Yeah,
the
is that where,
Yes.
current order of conditions is the 10 acres.
that's it? We were
Yes.
going to talk about increasing it, but that's not going to happen this year?
Well, the whole conversation, I don't know, were you here for the meeting when Beth Goodman was here?
No. that's-
Oh, okay, you missed it then.
I missed that.
So here's what happened. We talked about it. It's going to take some time for them to develop this as an NOI.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, and we're already still under contract. So this year, we're still good.
So we're good for
What-
10 acres.
So what will happen is we will automatically go to basically renew it when it comes up for renewal. And that's X number of days before it expires. But we're good for this year. So we're good into next April or something. March, probably, we're going to do an automatic renewal, which is pretty automatic of what we have now. In the meantime, SBA is bearing the cost. And so their attorneys will be putting together a proposal for more. under a different rule. Okay, so they're going a different route and we're looking to get more acreage, but they will be doing the work. SBA has offered to bear this cost and then turn that over to the town, at which point then we say, okay, we have this proposal, but we're still covered because we're covering ourselves by renewing, and then see if they buy it. And if they buy it, then we just drop the other one. You put a new one in place.
So SBA is paying for it.
Yes,
You're turning around.
they are,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the,
You're a man.
right?
And who's going to be driving the boat? Who's going to be doing?
Well, right now we have two people, two able-bodied people.
You're one.
And I'm one. I said, when I spoke to Stu Yarman, is the second one. And I said, I was talking to his wife, and I said, I feel like Tom Sawyer. I feel like when I'm up there, it's like, oh, this is great. We need, you're going to love it. And everybody wants to do it. And after they're going to be on this thing for like, wait a minute, what am I doing? That Tom Sawyer effect may wear out.
Here, I found the glossy version.
Oh,
So
nice.
Teresa
You want
printed it.
that?
Sally was having
Oh,
problems
yeah.
printing it.
Oh, this is the glossy of
Yeah,
time.
take the glossy one.
Times?
I want to take this to water sewer so
Yeah.
that they can see this.
Well, let me send you, yeah, and I'll send you a new one of this. What I can do is, once it's done, then I'll just redistribute it.
This is
You know,
great
send
work.
it out.
Yeah. Thank you.
But no, the next thing that I have to focus on, I think, is doing the presentation. Because we'd also talked about also doing like a boat brochure, boat ramp brochure, boat brochure. That's all well and good, but I think that the presentation is going to be,
You mean a physical presentation?
Yeah, we had
Like
talked-
when we go to.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we had gone through, and it was in the minutes, but we've gone through all the points we wanted to cover.
Right.
In that kind of presentation. So I want to just put something together, and I'll do it in a PowerPoint, which then you can print, you can utilize as your notes, but then it can also be sent out and can be placed on various websites. So if associations have websites, they can post it, and then people can look at it, even if they're not at the annual meeting. Because not necessarily everyone in a community is at their annual meeting.
When you finish it also, not just, you're absolutely right. We should send it to Lake Drive. That she sends it, that our president, actually, we're going to have a new president.
Oh,
I'm getting so senile. What's her name? Laura Beasley is stepping down.
okay.
And Beth, my wife, is taking over the presidency, but
Oh, good.
Laura is staying on to take care of the roads, which is great. She's done a great job.
Yeah.
I called her the other day. I couldn't thank her enough. She
Yeah.
really took over. I was president before her. And I told them they owe me a thanks. The Lake Drive owes me a thanks for putting her as the president. But she did a great job. So if you want to send that, once we have it, we should send it to all the
Yeah.
associations.
Right.
Also,
Well, we'll have
besides just the
to,
SBA.
I'll put something together
Yeah.
before the next meeting, and then we can go over it then, and if everybody approves, if
Yeah.
we want to tweak it, we tweak it, and then we'll be ready to send it out.
What you shouldn't.
And then I need to know
Please don't
what
tweak it
there's,
to death. This is really pretty good as,
All right.
getting it out is the key to me.
okay. Well, the other thing is knowing what their dates are of all their meetings,
But even, yeah.
because we want to go in person.
No, that's a different story than this. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is in preparation for that. So we're also going to need to know, so we don't miss these meetings, when they're going to be. So we can schedule who's going to do them, when are they happening?
Right.
Who's available?
Right.
All that. So
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I'm ready to drop dead, so.
Well, I can't, I woke up this morning 4:30 for the first time in a long time, couldn't fall back to sleep. And I'm thinking, this is your routine. I don't know how you do it. What time do you go to sleep? It's just that, I know we're on video now. Are we on video?
We are. Shall we?
Yeah, sure, let's adjourn the meeting.
Let's adjourn the meeting.
Yeah,
Call for
Okay.
adjournment.
yeah.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
I.
All right.